People of the internet, welcome back to my channel and welcome back to another Out of the Park Baseball 17 GM Mode Sim commentary for the Premier League Baseball. I am F5 Penguin. You can find me all over the web at F5 Penguin. In the last video, we recapped the offseason. We went to spring training and we made some decisions for opening day, and we are past opening day. What I'm probably going to do here forward, I'm going to try something new. I decided to try something new. You're going to see a lot of things happening on the screen, and this is because I am going to recap each month as we progress. So essentially, what this is going to turn into is our schedule looks like this. So if we go to the front office and we go to schedule, we play in June. Half of June will be one video. July will be a video. August will be a video. September will be a video. I might break up July just because of the All-Star break. So we might do June, 2 in July, maybe 2 in August. I want to basically break it out so we're not doing a video every 5 or 10 days of sim time, which is one or two sims. I think that's crazy. It's a lot to ask for me. It's a lot to make you watch. So I want to change it up. And I know my reactions were good, but then when we had reactions that I was doing live on video, it didn't really accomplish much for me. I wasn't able to actually look into the team and go, okay, what do we need to do? I spent time doing that in the off video and off air, and I didn't get a lot out of it. So what I'm doing now is I'm going to try to recap as we go and kind of make that happen, either half month or monthly, depending on how things kind of shake out. So that's what we're going to do, and that'll give you all some more succinct videos to watch, and we can make decisions together as we've been doing and as we move forward. So here's where we stand. The good news is we are in good shape, just like we were at the beginning of last season, 7-3. We are at the top, and surprisingly, the Minnesota North Stars, the expansion team, are also at the top, while Albany and Queens are 5-5 and 4-6 respectively. So that's pretty interesting. But here's where we're at. In the spring training, a couple of bad things happened. Glazer got injured and Roberts got injured. So yikes. We had to deal with that. Glazer's out for the season. So we called up Hugo Bellman, and we're hoping he'll do us proud and do us well. Also, we have Roberts out for 3 weeks. We'll have him back hopefully by the end of July, and that'll help us out there. I didn't make any changes in AAA. I just have one less pitcher. Or, I'm sorry, I have one less outfielder. We moved up Perdomo to take over, and then we just filled in the roles for Valenzuela to kind of play back up to all the roles back there while we called up Perdomo. Perdomo is playing center, and Capra is playing left field. Look at the numbers here. I might have to change Capra back out to left field. His left field numbers are fantastic, while his center field numbers have declined. So that has shifted for us with Capra, which is interesting. I kind of found that fascinating because he was a center fielder for a while, and we had him out left, and he gained left field experience, and now he's better at left field. So I might move him out to left permanently if Roberts can't stay healthy, and also just because Roberts he can, I can make him learn another position at 36. No, I can't. But what I can do is opt out next season and find another leader in another position. So the contract opt-outs are good for us. Anyway, let's recap where we're at. 7-3, 16th in runs scored. So our hitting is still not where we want it to be. The good news is our starters are third, 2.76 ERA, while our bullpen has struggled just a little bit. Stolen bases tied for 12th at 6. Home runs dead last, and we can't say we're too surprised by that. Power has always been our weakness, and I don't know where to find it. I've been looking everywhere for power hitters, and when I get them, they don't even do what I need them to do. So I don't know. But luckily, we're winning games, and we're winning them decisively. Third in on-base percentage, which is like it was last season. Ninth in batting average, so that's getting better. And runs against fifth. So defensively, we're pretty good, except for our efficiency being not so much. And that's just simply because we opted to get some better performing players over defensive-minded players, and that has kind of shifted since 55, 56. So no big deal there. We can go over these emails, but more importantly, what we're going to do instead is just look at the schedule. So We're going to look at the schedule, and then we're going to look at the stats is kind of how we're going to break this down. We won 5-1 against our opening day game against the LA Monarchs. We expected to win that game. We put up some pretty good numbers. Estrada got his first debut win for the Brooklyn Atlantics. Last season, he got lit up by Wichita, and that made me very sad. Thierry gets the win with 1-0 on the season, and he pitches 1.2 innings there. So that worked out to our benefit, and it looks like the game actually got rained out. We look at here, we only played 8 innings instead of 9, so I don't see it here saying that it got rained out, but it looks like it did. Yeah, game was called in 8th inning due to bad weather. Just wanted to actually look at that and make sure it was the case before I sounded crazy going, why are they only pitching, 7 innings? It didn't make sense. But this is our first win. We are on a good path to success. We then lost 7-3 against the Monarchs in our second game, and it looks like Walker is going to be our problem. We'll look at the stats later, but he's 0-2, and he gave up 4 earned runs. He has an ERA of 10, but if we look at this, he has an ERA of 11, which is not too good. 8 innings pitched, 2 walks, 11 strikeouts, over 6 earned runs. So that's not a good look for Walker. We have since limited him on his pitches, and hopefully he'll get himself back in the game. I don't know what happened there, but we'll see. Then we lost 6-2 against Montreal. We have our numbers there, and that was with Ciula and Parrish, not Kirshner and McCarty. So we have to keep that in mind. We have them starting against certain pitchers and then flip-flopping against other pitchers. It just depends on the pitcher. Thierry pitches 6 innings, gives up 1 run, and then Kurix, who didn't really surprise me with this here, so gave up 4 runs in an inning, which I didn't really expect that much, but I did expect a mediocre performance out of him. He's a decent, like I said, decent middle reliever, but I expected a little bit better than giving up 4 runs. So we'll have to kind of wait and see on Art Kurix and hope that gets better. The good news here is we went on a nice little streak, though. Won 3 straight, 5-1 against Montreal. And we look at the numbers there. We're getting some hits where we need them to be. Zarnecki's hitting like we expect. Capper's hitting like we expect, putting in some RBIs. Josh Long is not doing what we needed him to do. I expected him to have some power, and he's only batting 200 on the season so far. So we need him to get hot real quick here soon. That is for sure. The good news is Alcala got the win. 7 innings, so he pitched a pretty good game there. It's a quality start. And Thierry comes in and picks up the dust and picks up the pieces, I guess you'd say. And remember, we do have Mauricio putting up the saves when applicable. We're just not getting them right now. So we have, we had Glazer. We now have Thierry. And who else do we have? Pitching staff here. Oh, just Thierry as our setup guy. And he's pitching since the 6th. So he's going to be our strong arm in the bullpen. I don't feel like we need 2 setup guys. I think we'll be okay with just Thierry, and we'll work around from there. I might make a secondary role, but I don't know who that would be. Chime in if you think you know. Our 5th game, we won against Montreal 5-4. And again, you can see our hits here. 4 for 5 with Philpott. 2 for 5 with Capra. We're starting to get it happening. 2 for 5 with Pavlos, our catcher. So we have some numbers coming up. And this is where we're seeing our bullpen do its work. Rubenstein, who I think is going to do well, many of you think is going to do well, our scout thinks he's going to be terrible, gets a win. Pitches 5, gives up 3. Not the end of the world. 80 pitches. He does okay for us. He gets us out of a jam. We're okay. Thierry comes in for a hold. A specialist, Art Kurix, comes in and gets a hold with 1 out. So I guess he came in for a specialty role. And then Quiros with the save. I'm going to call him Quiros, not Quiros, because I think that's weird. Quiros with the save, gave up a run. Okay, but pitched an inning and got us out of a jam. We're going to win games as long as we can keep on this positive run and not blow saves when we need to. So this is our bullpen going to work right now. I kind of like it. And you can see where our bullpen ERA is a little bit high right now because we're giving up runs. We're not really closing games. 4-2 win here against Ottawa. They're 0-6 on the season. Not a good look for them at all. But you can see we're even producing runs late into the lineup here. McCarty, Kirshner putting up runs. So both sides, lefties and righties, pitchers, we're doing pretty well with, it looks like here. We get the win with Estrada. He pitches 7.2. And Quiros gets in there with another save. So 2 back-to-back saves. And this, I think, is working out. If we go back to our pitching staff, we can see pitching 8th or later for Quiros is going to help us. He's not going to come in just 9th. He's going to pitch a little bit more. And I think that's going to give us a little bit of flexibility to a degree, I think is the word I want to use, to get the players in when we need them to. I think that's the key. Unfortunately, we gave Ottawa the first win of their season and lost 6-0. I don't even know how that happens, but I do because I look at this and we have Espinoza, who is a award winner for 1 year there, 1955, Major League champion. Okay, so he's a pretty good player. You can see he broke a record in 54 with wins on Quebec City. He's swapped back and forth with Quebec City for a while, and they had to let him go. QC had to let him go, and Ottawa picked him up, and that was we just kind of matched up against a guy who's really good, and we got blanked. We shouldn't have gotten blanked with the hitters we have, but then you look at Jason Walker, gave up 6 in 4.5 innings. No bueno at all. Luckily, Lawson Murphy is our long relief emergency starting pitcher. He got us out, and then Garza and Kirks came in to close the game. I need to figure out Walker. That's for sure. I have him fourth still. I might move him to fifth. I think Rubenstein could probably hold his own. In fact, I'm probably going to do that in this next video is move him to fifth. Yeah, I think that's what we're going to do. So that's a decision we have to make. And then we have 3 back-to-back wins against Houston, the inaugural champions, the Houston Buffaloes here. We won 3 games straight. Capper putting in some work, so is Parrish, and I like seeing that trade paying off for us with Parrish winning games when we expect him to. Claude Thierry gets his first win. Kyrgios gets his third save, and this is how our bullpen should be working. 2 stolen bases, by the way. I'll have you notice that. Capper, Philpott, not surprised there. Zarnecki should be getting some as well. Then we win a tight one, 2-1 against the Houston Buffaloes as well. And we had Zarnecki caught stealing, which is unfortunate there. Like I just said, he was going to get involved and got caught stealing. And then our bullpen really goes to work here. 3 holds and a save. Alcala pitches 7, and then we get an out each from 3 different pitchers. And this will keep our guys healthy, though. We won't overpitch anybody because we do have the depth. We just have to make sure they don't give up, a lot of runs. But we won 2-1 there as well. And then lastly, 6-3 to close out that 3-game series. And Zarnecki, again, 3 for 5, hitting 60%. You can't complain, right? So 1 error for Kirshner. We know he's error prone. We're hoping that kind of bumps the rust off there. And again, a win for Rubenstein, pitches 5.2. Hold for Thierry. Moreno gives up a run, and we know he gets streaky at times, so we kind of expect that. That's why he's not used more often. He's just normal usage. If this happens continually, we will dial that back to use less often, but we know he can be crucial if he can stay in the positive streak and not get, negative streak. That'll be I don't know if that's even a thing, but you know what I mean. And a save, again, 5th save for Kyrgios, and this is why I wish we could have kept Zelaya like we would have kept Rivera in the Yankees team. Again, I'm modeling this after the Yankees, but we could have had Zelaya get the saves he wanted, but his confidence was dropping. He was getting upset. He wanted too much money. We had to let him go, and now we got somebody who's quality here. Look at these numbers he's putting up, and is able to get us saves when we need to, especially when we have close games. A 3-run game is not a lock. It's really not. It can change in an instant, especially in OOTP, and we're seeing that here. So let's look at the numbers here. I'm going to leave these right here for you. I think we move Walker to 5th and move Rubenstein up. That is for sure. I don't see anything too crazy with balls and bats in play, except that's the right, batting average on balls in play. I'm sorry, with Jason Walker being the only standout kind of thing. Kurix is just getting. I looked at the game log. He's just getting unlucky. We had a couple of just bad innings. He pitched 3 innings, gave up a bunch of runs. We need more time with him to figure out where he's at. We know what Moreno's going to do, so we just take that with a grain of salt. And then Kyrgios with a high ERA, but at the same time, 5 saves. No blown saves yet. So take that for what it's worth. And then across the board here, we got 3 zeros, 3 blanks, Garza, Thierry, but Bellman hasn't pitched yet. And we know that he probably won't. Until we absolutely need him to pitch in the bullpen. We'll have to see how that turns out. Then we want to switch it over to the lineup. We have our lineup here. Lefties and righties are different. Our righty, we got Kirshner, McCarty, and then lefties, we got Parrish, Ciula. The rest are the same. And we'll pull up our stats here so you can kind of see them. Batting average leading off. Our best batting average right now is Ciula, surprisingly. And then Philpott, Zarnecki above 300, Capra at 300. And even Pablos is putting up a 276. Our question mark here right now is Josh Long, and we should expect him to get a little bit better. We'll see if we can knock that rust off and get some more improvement out of him. But needless to say, we are in good shape here. I like where we're at. I really, really do. We'll go over and look at our accounting and see where we're at. By the way, our games, we're still struggling kind of selling tickets. We knew that was going to be a problem after our slide last season. That's okay. But we're promised to make, we're projected, I'm sorry, to make about $100,000 for the balance on our total bank and then $50,000 for our season. So we should be okay. We should be okay. And checking the info right here, you can see where we rank. We are first right now. One-run games, this is the key factor. We're 2-0. I worked really hard in the offseason to make sure that we are getting better at that. We were 5-11 in one-run games. Those 11 losses killed us. I can't afford that this season. I'm not going to have it happen. So in June, we were 7-3. We have one more game left in June. Let's hope we can make that 8-3 and win the months. If we can win month to month, we'll be okay overall. We'll just keep on that positive track. And then we have a 1-2. Not enough sample size against lefties, but definitely something to look at in the future. Looking at batting here, you can see we're kind of middle of the pack. We're getting a lot of walks and a lot of strikeouts, which is kind of interesting and kind of fascinating all at the same time. And we are third in on-base percentage, though, so we are getting on base. We just got to get our batting average a little bit better, maybe lay off the bad balls for a bit, it looks like. Got to get some more home runs, too, but that's aside from the point. And then defensively, you see where we're at. Bases on balls, we're first. Second in home runs allowed. So that's, while we're not hitting them, we're not giving them up either. So I guess that's a good thing for us. And I don't think that has anything to do with our stadium. I think that has everything to do with our pitching and our lack of power hitting, even though we have sixes in power, which baffles me. Anyway, runs allowed, 32. We're fifth, and we are fourth in ERA overall. So lots of good things to look forward to. Again, I'm leaving it right here. Give me your feedback. We're going through this month to month. I hope you enjoyed this. Link is in the description below for the Out of the Park Baseball Premier League Baseball website. Check it out. You can see stats, facts, and all that good stuff right there. I hope you like it. Hope you subscribe this video. I hope you're enjoying the series. We're going to continue this on. 10 years so far in OOTP for the PLB, and we are growing strong like Bad Boy, and we can't stop. And we won't stop. That's Young Guns. Still counts. Anyway, I'm leaving it right here. I'm F5 Penguin. You can find me all over the web at F5 Penguin. And this, of course, was Out of the Park Baseball 17, the GM Mode Sim for the Premier League Baseball. And I hope you all enjoyed it. I will see you in the next video. Until then, good night and good batting. Because we need it. We do need it. Home runs. I can never hit home runs. I don't get it.